Hey you guys, so I asked everybody what they would like me to do, and they said to do a makeup tutorial. That's what it came down to. There were a few different things, but it came down to that. And then I asked what they'd like me to do, and it was my everyday makeup routine. So we're gonna get into that. Sorry, my music's a bit loud. I've had SZA stuck in my head all day, this song. So I was like, okay, we're gonna play it while I do makeup, because they say if you play a song when it's stuck in your head, it can get out of your head, which it never works, but it's fun to listen to it anyway. But yeah, so we're gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna do my everyday makeup routine. I'm gonna show you guys how I do it and just kind of chit chat with you guys, because let's face it, I'm no like, you know, Jackie Anna or Jaclyn Hill. I'm not like them. So I'll just show you how I do it, because I even get questions from people I know personally, and you know, I don't know. I've had people tell me my makeup looks good. I don't think it looks that great, but that's because I'm a mom and all day long I've got kids in my face, like rubbing their faces and their hands on me. And we're trying to get Elijah weaned, starting to try soy formula, which is not working, and he sprayed it in my face, and it's just, there's always something happening. Dish soap, water, you know, kids touching my face, trying to take naps. I've caught myself dozing off lately and face in the pillow, realize, oh crap, I just got my makeup all over it. Hubby comes home, I give him a hug, and it's all over his shirt. You know, you give him that look like, oh crap, he's gonna notice, and he sees you giving him the look, and he looks at his shirt and he's like, so yeah, let's just jump into it, and I'll show you guys how I do my makeup. Sorry, I'm rambling. Amazing, but I need to just moisturize a lot. So it's the Olay Active Hydrating Original Cream. It smells like roses. It's really super fragrant. It took me a while to get used to it. Like, let's be honest, I'm not into scents very much, and I almost returned it, but I mean, I got over it. So I just take a dab of it on my hand, because what I'm gonna do here, I'll show you. If you used like an illuminator with your foundation, it takes away the appearance of dry skin, and once again, I have super dry skin. So what I like to do, I have my Tarteist Pro Glow. It's the liquid highlighter. I got it in my boxy charm. I love it when Kathleen says that. If you guys watch Kathleen Lights, she's the cutest thing. But yeah, so I just put a tiny bit in there. And then sometimes, which I'm going to do today because I actually exfoliated. Actually, I don't know if I have it. Do I? Yes. I'm going to add, sorry, I'm going to add just the tiniest bit. That was more than I wanted. My e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. It's just the little teal one. I'm gonna be honest here, I got that entire skin line not only because I wanted to try it and do that review on it, but it's teal and I love teal, like the Tiffany teal color. My sister-in-law got me into it, and I used to just think it was like aqua or something. I forgot what I used to call it, seafoam green, and she was like, no girl, it's teal, Tiffany teal. And I was like, okay. So she got me into it, and I got obsessed, and I got my friends obsessed, and then I grew out of it and I started going for maroon. Okay, I'm rambling, but back to what I was saying. So I had already known that I wanted to leave McDonald's because I was working way too much overtime, like way too much. They were taking advantage, and I ended up working there again because I was desperate. But that's another story time. So my hair's not staying. I need to just, but either way, I was getting sick of their shit. They take advantage of managers completely. It's like the moment you decide you want to be a manager, you sign your soul over to the McDonald's gods. I don't know what their deal is, but that's a thing. Oh, I need to grab my brushes. So either way, I ended up applying for Ulta, and my sister-in-law was a manager there, so she helped me. She like kind of gave me some pointers, because she ended up researching how to get into Ulta. And let me tell you, if you want to get there, I had fun for sure. It's just I don't like some of their practices when they, oops, wrong one. That is not my shade anyway. Their return policy, you know, like people do stuff they're not supposed to. It's not like Ulta says, hey, you know, put this where it does. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to get in trouble for saying anything unless people ask, and then I'll do a story time. I mean, it's up to you guys, but you'd be thoroughly disgusted, and I don't want to ruin Ulta for anybody. So I have a giant mirror here, and then I use this little one. So yeah. But either way, I studied, I learned about their core values, which I recommend if you want to work there. They kind of do group interviews. I know it's crazy that they do that. I have never had a group interview before until applying to work there. And it made me even more nervous than I already was. But I was the only one there who knew about the core values. And that really impressed them. So I guess it really impressed them. She ended up telling me she really thought I had the job because a lot of the managers were impressed with me. She wasn't like actually trying to help me, like, sorry, it was giving me a notification. She wasn't trying to help me more than, you know, was appropriate. She just kind of told me, hey, do your research, look up their core values. Like, she left it on me, you know, whether I was going to do that or not. Told them I'd work the truck, which means I'd be there 4 a.m. every single freaking Monday of my life, which I did. And I got so angry one day at McDonald's because they were treating me so bad, and I quit. And I don't like to do that usually. That's not good on resumes. It doesn't look good anywhere, because it's like, who wants you if you're just gonna walk out on them, you know? But I get home and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna dye my hair. McDonald's would never let me do it, and I've always wanted to try red. Got my hair dyed red, and that night, you know, I'm walking home, because the house I was at getting my hair done is like literally just across the street from the house I lived at with my friend at the time, and she was watching my daughter. And I was walking home and I just felt so good about myself. You know, I was like, I'm making this change, I'm standing up for myself, which I never had done before with a job. And if you're wondering what I used, I did the Dewy Smooth Normal to Dry Maybelline Fit Me, and I'm using shade 115 in Ivory, which sucks because I'm gonna start getting pale. I got this one because I thought it was gonna be hot longer. So the one that I said is not my color is actually about to be my color, and that's the Y225 in Makeup Forever, which I need to find one to have that's kind of dewy. But yeah, they called me as I was walking home, and they said they hired me, and it was the funnest time of my life. Like, it's a fun job to have, you know. You just gotta be careful, because there's also, of course, like, I'm sure you guys have noticed with the makeup community right now being up in shambles. It's so much drama. Well, it's like that working a makeup job too, which kind of sucks. But if you can stay out of the drama, you have a lot of fun. Alright, so what's the name of this? This is, I know this is the Maybelline, I know it's one of the dewy ones. I know this looks crazy light right now. I picked the wrong shade, but, ooh girl. It works so good though. The one I have been using for years, I could not figure out why it just hasn't been working for me lately. And it's because I'm just getting extra dry. I think it's just from being out here in California. My skin was never like dry, and being out here in Colorado, it's just been wild. It's been a wild ride. I remember I almost got in a fight one time because, like I said, I worked with my sister-in-law, and one of the girls was mad because she was younger than her. So Kylie was younger than the older girl, and Kylie was a manager, like a store manager, and she didn't like it. And she tried bad-mouthing Kylie one day. I guess she went to the office and she was like yelling at her. I should be doing my makeup, not just talking. And she was like in tears. But not because like she was it's like she was mad that she couldn't do anything. She's one of those people, you know, like they cry when they get angry. So I just have the normal e.l.f. translucent powder, and I'm going to just get a little dab-a-doo and try not to over powder, because like I said, I'm really dry. And I remember I went on lunch when this happened, so I didn't see any of it go down. You know, everybody was just telling me. And I was so angry. I was like, that chick left before I can go off, you know, because like, family's family, work or not. And I'm not a violent person. I've only ever been in one fight, and I was attacked. I was being bullied by some girl because I defended one of our kids in school. He was Jewish, and she thought she could make fun of him. She would like throw stuff. He had an afro, so she'd throw stuff in his afro, make fun of his braces. They took his book, ripped it up, threw it in the mud. I still follow him on social media. He's a really nice guy. I was so angry, and so I stood up to her, and she started bullying me, and one day I finally like talked trash back, and she started hitting me, so I had to defend myself, you know, but neither here nor there. I've never been one for bullying. Ever. Ever. But, so, either way, chick walked back in, and I was like, oh really? Oh really? I was like, and I remember Mo, she was one of the moms. We call them like the moms. They're the older women that work there. And you want to, if you're going to work at Ulta, stick to them. They're the ones you want to stick to and be nice to. Don't be rude to them. I thought I stuck that in my lotion for a second. I lotioned my hands before it's gonna get dry. But, yeah. So, she was like, no, sweetie. So sweet about it. No, sweetie, don't do it. And I was just like, ugh. So I'm gonna bronze. Here's the problem. I always use the Hoola by Benefit. I'm sure everybody's seen it before. I'm running out. It's like, I don't want to break it. It's little crumbles, so I'm going to be really careful and just like to go under my lip. As you can see, I need to buy a new one. Just like that. I just like to hit normal high points. But yeah, either way, the whole point of this, Ulta was so fun. I loved it. I, you know, had a, when you first work for them, they give you this little slip and you get like free makeup items, free hair care items. You know, they're like select, but still, they give you a list of what you can do, and you use your little employee coupons. You get a discount. So, you know, I'd go and get my hair done all the time, and I just loved it being red. I had a guy stop on the side of the road for me one time. True story. I was walking to work, and I have like really bad anxiety. If you've watched long enough, I'm sure I've talked about it. And I have a lengthy process. I know it's crazy, but this is how I like to take care of my bronze. He stopped on the side of the road, and I freaked out because I watched him pull in. Like he went this way, and then he U-turned and came back and went in, and I was like, what are you doing? You know, because like he was in the path of where I had to go to get to my work. It's like a shopping plaza, and I was walking in the parking lots, because there's like restaurants all in the middle, and then on the sides are like shopping areas. If you live in Colorado and you know where 104th, like Ross and all of that is, you know what I'm talking about. But he stopped, and I was like, oh my god, what is this guy doing? And he goes, I was listening to this song and I saw your hair. I don't know, man, it made me like feel some kind of way, and I just wanted to stop and talk to you. And I was like, okay. He was a hippie for sure, man. Like, I don't know, he was like very like happy person, but I was dating somebody, so I didn't get his number or anything. I was just like, oh, you know, I can't. And he goes, well, if I ever see you around here again and you're single. And I was like, hey, for sure. When bronze that 5 head. Can you hear him singing, you guys? He plays guitar. When we first met, I guess that can be a story time too. We worked at a grocery store together. I remember my computer training day. He has, our boss made him go and do something on the computer, and I heard him. He's like, I swear I've done this before. And she's like, well, it doesn't show that you did, so we need you to do it again. And knowing Jesse now, I know he was just like, but he sat down and I didn't pay attention. You know, I was like not wearing any makeup, social anxiety. I wasn't gonna pay attention to him, so he didn't pay attention to me. And then I caught myself looking over anyway, and as I looked over, he looked over. And to this day, we always talk about it. And I remember thinking, oh my god, this is the most gorgeous man I've seen my entire life. Like, I've always had a thing for like Native American men. He's Italian and Romanian and Apache. He's like this crazy mix. But I remember, you know, he had the long hair at the time, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm not wearing any makeup today. I'm ugly, and the most gorgeous man I've ever seen in my life is sitting right next to me, and I messed up. Like, he's never gonna talk to me again. And he smiled at me. And it made me smile. I was like, okay. And he told me, like, so that's what I was thinking. He told me, he was like, wow, that's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, you know. He was like shy. And he used to be really shy when we like first met each other. Like, I'd be talking to one of the girls at work, because, you know, I always hung out with like the same girls. And what am I doing? My eyebrows. I'm doing my brows. So I'd be like complaining. I was from California and I just moved there. I'd only been there for like maybe 3-4 months. And okay, so don't judge my process, but I have always just been into doing my eyebrows with the powder. So I'm going in with Break Free from the Nightingale Pretty Vulgar palette. And then I'm going to go in with the gel too, because I'm extra like that. But yeah, so I was complaining to one of the girls that I worked with. What am I doing? And I was like, I don't know. And being here now, you know, like 5, almost 6 years later, I'm just like, this is not cold. But this was like the time of year that I was complaining about it being cold. And I already had like this heavy jacket on. Everybody else was like wearing short sleeves still, just, you know, pants. Everybody was in pants, but they still had short sleeves on and stuff. And I was like, you guys are so crazy. I need my California sun, because, you know, Valley girl, whatever. And I was complaining to one of the girls about that, and I look over and he's laughing at the lunch table. He's like looking at me laughing. I just talk and he would always laugh at the stuff I said. I remember we'd always catch each other staring at each other. Whenever they'd call anybody else in the store to come help, I was a courtesy clerk, he worked in produce. When they'd call anybody up to come help because we had too many customers, he'd run for the like opportunity to come work up there, and he'd be at the line next to mine. Like, come on. But see, he was never brave enough to really talk to me like that. Like, we were friendly, we'd say hi and stuff. He'd kind of try to flirt. He's not good at flirting. It's adorable. But I never, like, I don't know, I never crossed that line because I did have a boyfriend at the time. But my boyfriend was really weird, dude. Like, so the guy I was dating at the time was really starting to just get weird. Like, I get it, we just graduated high school, so it's not like he's in his 30s or something, but he would always say the most gross things to me. He'd be like, is it weird that I still drive by high schools and I think the girls are hot? And I was just like, first of all, you're my boyfriend. Don't tell me that. Second of all, why high schools? Like, why are you still stuck in high school? Like, why are you looking at these little girls? That's what I think of them as. Like, even in high school, I thought of, like, kids, even if it was just a grade younger than me, I always thought of them as little kids. Like, I've got friends who graduated, like, 2 years ago, and I think of them as little compared to me, you know? I've always been that way. Like, sorry, my phone lost storage space, so I had to clear that up really quick, and I got super bright out of nowhere. It's been a really rainy, like, dreary day, so all of a sudden it's like bleh. But yeah, it started getting super weird. It started getting uncomfortably weird, you know? And it's funny because the woman he's married to now, that's what started causing problems. He started hanging out with her. Like, his car wouldn't work some days. It was weird, like I'm dumb or something, you know. He's like, oh, well, it won't work. So she's picking me up and taking me to school. Okay. Comes back home like every day. I had lunch waiting. Uniform for work ironed because, you know, I'm a good girlfriend. And he'd take his truck to work like nothing was wrong. And it's like, Okay. And I remember our roommate kind of brought it up at one point because they go to school together. He's like, so you're okay with him leaving campus with all of these girls? And by all of these girls, he just meant her. I was like, what do you mean? He said he stays on campus during lunch because I make him lunch. And, you know, he was like, no, they've been hanging out. So, you know, I called him out on it, and he denied it. Oh, I'm never leaving. And then my roommate stopped talking to me about this kind of stuff. I think he said something to him like, don't, you know, be telling her this stuff. But, I mean, they're married now, so obviously something was going on, you know? And, it's whatever. I even was really honest with him, you know, I was like, because he'd come home, I'd have dinner made the nights I wasn't working. You know, our schedule was actually pretty nice. It was never really conflicting. I'd have dinner ready for him. And I always did his laundry. I cleaned. I'd even cook for our roommate sometimes too. You know, I was really nice about it. But he'd never talk to me. He'd just come home and get on the Xbox and play games and stuff. And I was like, you can't be like that. Like, if I'm doing stuff for you, you know. Sorry, it's so bright. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can fix it really quick. Alright, so that's the best I'm gonna be able to do. It's the end of the day, and this is the side of the building where the sun hits throughout the day, so it's gonna look like that. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I told him that we needed to fix things, that he was being really weird, and wasn't okay for him to be hanging out with people because, you know, other girls, and lying about it. Like, if you have to lie about it, something's wrong, you know? Because I've always been cool about hanging out with other friends. Like, I had guy friends, and I only let them come hang out when he was home, you know? Or I'd, like, ask, hey, can we hang out? And it's like, doors always stayed open. That kind of thing. Like, I was always super respectful about it. So for him to lie, especially with how I was taking care of him, like, it was my money that got him out here, and it was my money that paid the rent, and, you know, got all of the things we had, the bed, I let him keep the PlayStation, the TV. I paid for it, not him, you know. Like, he paid half the rent. Not even half. Hell no. Sorry. I paid pretty much all of the rent. He paid utilities, which was BS, because that was like $90. Come at me with that bullshit. Alright, so my brows, they're done. Kind of, wait. But, yeah, you know, he told me when we talked about it that he didn't have time to fix our relationship. So I was like, whatever, I broke up with him. And he wanted to play the victim, you know, he went on Facebook. A lot of people attacked me because I started dating Jesse. Jesse was nice to me. He was always there for me, like my ex wasn't. But nobody took into account that the week, it was like the first or second week I moved out, he had moved her in. I didn't do anything with Jesse until I broke up with Dallas. And it was a mutual breakup. We sat in his truck. He was my high school sweetheart. Shouldn't be dropping names. He was my high school sweetheart. Like, we really loved each other. It was my first real breakup. My first real, like, it hurt breaking up. But I knew he wasn't good for me, you know? I knew that it was a toxic relationship. We were always fighting. He was talking to other girls, he was sneaking around, he was dishonest, he was being weird, talking about younger girls in high school and stuff. And I know we just graduated, but, like, that's creepy to me. I don't know about you guys, but that's creepy to me. And so I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. And it's bad to say, but, like, I just had this feeling that Jesse was the person. And when we first met, I swear to God, it was captivating, and I miss that so much sometimes. I don't want him to hear me say that. I miss it so much because we were so in love. It was like suffocating almost when we weren't with each other, and we were both like that. It was insane. insane. Like the way we were drawn to each other, the way we were with each other. I mean, that was just the happiest I had ever been in my life. And I'm still happy. It's just, you know, you become an adult, you've got kids, you've got responsibilities, things to do. So I like to do my highlight before my blush. I'm going in with 2 different palettes. I'm going in with my Strobe of Genius Illuminating Palette by NYX. You can't even see the strobe anymore. That's how long I've had it. I don't know if they still have this. If they do, I got it from Ulta when I worked there. And as you can tell, obviously I like it. I've been like trying to get into the sides to get what I can out of it. So I'm gonna keep doing that, I guess. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna get this color. If you buy it, it's like the lightest color in the palette. And then I'm gonna get in on the purple. And then I'll show you the other color I'm gonna get from that same Pure palette. Actually, yep, okay. I like to do highlight before blush. I don't know if I already said that. It looks better. It's like a glow from within kind of thing. But I'm just gonna mix that light color and the purple color. I just remember how crazy it felt when Jesse and I were dating. He took me to my first and last, my only rave, and I will put a picture of that up right now for you guys, and you'll see what I'm talking about with the long hair. But yeah, I remember we were walking to work one day and we had this snow fight. It was the cutest thing ever. I remember we got to work and he had snow on his jacket, and so I remember getting with it and he was like, how the hell did you do that? And I was like, huh, the world may never know. But we were so cute. And then, you know, we ended up breaking up, and getting back together, you know, was still really amazing, but it's never been the same, and that always kind of bothers me. It makes me so sad, because what we had was just the most unbelievable, beautiful thing ever. And, you know, you become an adult, and there are too many things going on in life, and you just get stressed out. So I don't like to do blush too much, but it's fall, so this is still my everyday look. I'm just not gonna be able to do my fall blush until I do my everyday fall. So this is my normal everyday, like, summer routine. And so I'm using Too Faced, I think this is Candy Glow, their highlighted blush. Yeah, it's Candy Glow. I've had it for so long. Everything's kind of just wore off the back. I just take a tiny bit of that and just touch on the cheeks, going up like that. Just go back and forth a little bit. It will wear down, don't worry. It's kind of funny because I was watching Jaclyn Hill the other day and she was saying that happens to her too. I love watching people who do their makeup and they say they have like the same makeup issues, and I'm like, at least I'm not alone, you know. Alright, now that's done, I'm going to do my eyes. And for my eyes, my everyday look is super simple. So before I got this palette this month, it was this month, right? Yeah, this month. No, it's October. Girl, get it together. So before I got this in last month's box, I had been using, where are you? You're hiding from me. I just organized all my stuff and I'm not used to it. So now it's like, I'm wondering if June took it. No, it's right here. I was using the Naked Urban Decay Basics palette. And if you, God, this is so expensive. I say go for this, you know, like, it's amazing quality, and I can do a video on that if you'd like. But basically there's so many dupes. Like, this color is the same, almost exactly the same as my favorite color in the Basics palette. Let me show you. Actually, it's this color. It's Naked 2, and as you can see, my palette's almost done. Okay, it's my favorite palette. When I say it's my favorite, like, I'm not messing around. I don't tell jokes. This is my favorite palette. So it's just, sorry, it's hard to get any color off of that. Let's see. You can barely see either of them on my pale and wrist. Let's see if you can see that. No, not really. Blech. trust me, they're like basically the same color, which made me happy because I was like, God, I'm gonna have to go replace this palette. It's my favorite palette. And then they had pretty much every color in this one, and I was like, looks like I don't need to go replace my palette now, do I? Where are you? Here we go. So this is my, wow, the writing's already worn off and I've only had them for a month. That is so sad. It's one of the Alamar brushes. I got the trio set in my BoxyCharm along with this palette. So I'm going in with that color I was telling you about, the hide and seek. And I dust it all over my lids and stuff. So I got that dusted all over my lids, if you can see. It's a little bit darker than before. And then what I'd like to do, alright, so where is it? My Alamar palette. So if you've been getting BoxyCharm, it's going to be pretty easy for you to do this. If not, let me know if you have any good dupes, and maybe I will try, excuse me, start to look into some dupes. The El Malcon, if I'm saying that right. So just a little history on myself here, you guys. I was in foster care. I only went to one home, and that was with my nana, and she tried teaching me Spanish, and all I took out of that was pan blanco, which is white bread, because that's what she would call me, white bread. But my foster sisters, like, they're my sisters. To this day, we talk. I love them. They're my family. Like, I'm so excited because where we're moving, my sister Selena's gonna be able to come see me. I can see her. It's like an hour and a half drive away from where her sister Parissa, her actual sister Parissa, lives. So super excited about that. But yeah, so she's Navajo Indian, and then my other sisters are Hispanic. And let me tell you, I ate good living there, okay? And there's been times where I forget where something's called, and I'll like message her or my cousin Manuel, and they're like, wow, like they get mad. They're like, girl, you should know this. And I was like, I'm sorry, I forget. There's so much to remember. I was like, no, there's no excuse. But I tried learning to speak Spanish. My nana tried teaching me, and I wish I had listened more, you know, as a teenager running around doing stupid stuff. I wish I had spent more time watching novellas with her. Me and my sister Maxine, even Selena, would sit there with her watching novellas, and I forgot, it's something Guadalupe. I'm gonna have to ask. See, they're gonna get mad at me. I'm gonna ask for this video, and they're gonna be like, but we'd pretend we knew what they were saying. I remember it was so funny. I could call my sister right now and she'd be like, oh my god, yeah. We'd be like, oh, you know, pretend to be so shocked as if we knew what was going on. And then my nana would look at me and, do you want to know what they're saying? No, I know what they're saying. She'd be like, okay, and she'd explain to us what was going on, and we sit there and laugh. I miss it so much. Sometimes I miss waking up and being with my sisters, spending weekends with them, going to school with them. They taught me so much. I went through so much abuse growing up. So when I was telling you guys about like my aunt that watches me on here and stuff, it like that kind of stuff bothers me. She abused the crap out of me. I've been through it all. Sorry about that. He needed me to watch the kids. He had to go to the bathroom. But yeah, I've been rambling about a lot of dumb stuff. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is go in with flip out that dark brown again, the one I use on my eyelids. Sometimes I leave it just like this. So let me show you. So sometimes I leave it like that because I think it's really light and pretty, and you know, mom, everything wipes off really easily. But there are also days where I want it to be a little bit more dramatic, and so I just barely take any of that brown and I put my brush sideways, because if I go like this, it's gonna put too much. I want to make it precise in the corner Not. You know what? Actually, I think I'm gonna go in with like a gloss today. Let me throw on my mascara really quick though, and I'm just using Unleash Volume and Curl Mascara by Wander Beauty. Once again, it's upside down. Once again, Boxy Charm. So let me just do that really quick, and I keep wanting to put a new song on, but I can't because my phone died. And we don't have the boxes anymore. My actual charger, I left it at my friend's house like 2 weeks ago, and I need to go by and get it. It's been a pain in the ass. I've been having to use the charger we have for our PlayStation controllers. Which, by the way, I'm scared to do a gaming video. Actually, I didn't think about it until recently, but I made my PlayStation profile like 2 years ago, I think. Almost 3 years ago. It was when June was a baby, so she's about to turn 4, so probably 3 years ago. And it's when I was dating my ex. And I'm pretty sure he's the one that set up the profile for me. And it's not a very appropriate name. It has to do with one's mother. And for the longest time I've been so cringe. Like, my husband and I play games like every night, and it was just like, oh, people can see my gamer tag and I hate it. You know, I want to do something different, and you can't. Like, once you make that profile, that's it. That's what you're stuck with, sadly. I just want to reach out to PlayStation, you know, the network, and be like, please, I'll do anything, because I have so much salvage. Like, if you play games and you know what I'm talking about, I have so much salvage on that profile. Like, my favorite guns, they're the kind you can only get in the care packages, not care packages, and the quartermaster box that you can get with your keys. They're not ones you can just like buy with salvage or keys. Like, you have to get it in the box. And it's funny because all the guns that I got are ones my husband has always wanted, and he's been gaming longer than me and he's never got them. So every time I get them, he's like, what the heck? I mean, amazing guns. There's this gun I have when you shoot somebody and you kill them in the game, there's money like floating around the person after you kill them, and it's called Mo Money. Every time you kill them, you get the thing Mo Money. And I think it's so funny, and it's kind of like a silent F you to that person, like, that's right, I killed you and I got money. I don't know, I'm a dork. If you know me personally, you know I'm kind of a nerd. Oh wow. Like, I didn't start getting into makeup until I graduated high school. No, actually it was my senior year, yeah. Then again though, I've never been really allowed to wear makeup. My dad's one of those where he's like, if you wear makeup, you're gonna do adult things. Like, my aunt bought me my first bra, the one that was abusing me. This was before I lived with her. She bought me my first bra, and I wanted a black one because a lot of my clothes were black, and I didn't want my bra to show through. And my cousin, you know, I was looking, and I told my cousin, well, I want a black one. And my cousin, you know, they're so like worn down by her abuse. They would tell her everything. Like, oh, we're gonna get in trouble if we don't say it. We have to tell her everything. Let me just throw these. So I'm gonna go in with this Buxom. It's a lip plumper. What color is it? Dolly. From Dolly. So she goes, oh my god, Alexis wants a black bra. My aunt told me, we don't wear black bras because that means you want to do adult things. And I don't know. I'm glad I got away from that because that's ridiculous. My daughter, I let her start playing with makeup when she was like 2 years old. You know, I was working at Ulta. And I got her her first little Play Pretend palette. It was like $1, so I was like, you know, have at it. And she always saw me doing my makeup for work, and she was so excited. She like started digging her fingers in, and she was like, oh, and then she'd do it again, and like look at herself and she'd be like, Mom. And I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. Everybody thought it was adorable. I don't care. I'm gonna let my kids be expressive. I'm not gonna like put restrictions and tell them because you're gonna do this if you do. No. First of all, kids are gonna do what they want to do. If your teenager wants to do those things, guess what? You're not gonna stop it. And I know a lot of people want to argue it. Some kids will listen, yeah, they won't. But majority of the time, as a teenager, your brain isn't developed yet. And so you can't make decisions the way an adult would. You know, you're gonna like do things you shouldn't do. And the best thing you could do is just like talk to them like they're a human being. That's my thing, like validation. And express to them why you don't want them to do it. Understand that they might, don't tell them like, I know you're, but don't freak out when you find out they do. Like, I know internally you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is so disgusting. Like, but it's better to not be controlling and crazy because your kids will never be honest with you. In my opinion anyway, this is just me. Like, wearing makeup and the kind of bras you have and stuff like that have nothing to do with your decision. You're gonna do it if you want to anyway. I don't know, I'm getting too far off with all of my rambles, but this is the look. So I'm gonna take this off. It's messed up all my little baby hairs, and I can't just fill in my hairline because it's so red. I look bald, but I'm not, I promise. So there it is, you guys. This is my everyday makeup look. That is it. This was a super long video, and I'm sorry. Windows are open because it's nice and rainy and cold outside, so I'm sorry about that. But this is my everyday look, you guys. It was a really long video. I felt like I haven't put out enough content lately, so I made this a long one. I'm gonna get out there with the family though because they have pizza. They're laughing and I'm not a part of it, and I want to be a part of the laughter. And my daughter is a maniac. She asked us to put on It. She loves this movie. She loves scary movies, which is perfect because I love scary movies. We're just best friends. Not really. I told her we're not friends because we're not. I'm her mom, but still, it's fun. It's fun to like nerd out with her. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you liked the look, and I'm doing my fall one too tomorrow probably since the hubby's still home. But I am so happy to be back and posting videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.